Hey, bought me an acid-dipped cigarette today.
Oh, yeah?
You want to buy a cigarette dipped in acid?
And all the
Yeah.
excitement, you kind of lost track.
If I'm gonna trip,
But
I want
don't
to trip
worry
here,
about
man. Walk in the
maybe
woods,
throwing
not my
something
home.
around on the ground.
Stayed with that detail to get those machine guns and
Just gonna stash it here. Don't smoke it by mistake. You want to smoke some, just save me some.
You don't need to trip out on no acid.
Speed reload.
My booze don't need nobody.
Now, right now, the revolver's empty. But the way this technique will look is I'll fire my last shot, take the cylinder out of battery, and then the revolver will just be in my non-dominant hand, and I'm controlling the cylinder with my thumb and my two middle fingers. I'll then turn the muzzle straight up and hit the ejector rod. The muzzle's up because gravity's your pal when you're trying to get those rounds out of there. And you don't push the ejector rod, hit it.
Okay. You know how I can tell someone's never shot a revolver enough to have a split case in their chamber? They advocate hitting the ejector rod. Masad Ayub, who is a recognized expert on shooting revolvers and reloading revolvers, and developed what, in my opinion, is the best combat or defensive-oriented revolver reload technique called the stress fire reload. He doesn't advocate hitting the ejector rod, and I certainly don't advocate hitting the ejector rod, because if you've been shooting and one of those cases splits open, which I've had happen, and you go kakoosh to whack your ejector rod like that, like an asshole, what you end up with is a scar on the palm of your hand that's exactly the same shape as the tip of your ejector rod. Maybe you end up with a broken gun because you hit the ejector rod like an a-hole and bent something, and you also still have a stuck case in your gun. Okay, so don't hit your ejector rod. All you need to do is roll the gun up and push. Okay, just push. And that push will also tell you if you have a stuck case, because if you push and nothing happens, you have other problems that need to be solved.
The knuckle of the support hand tends to block a complete ejector stroke. It'll only get to here, not all the way down. And we often saw spent casings that were still in the chambers when they should have cleared. Finally, again, we wound up with a gun at a 45-degree angle instead of center. What we went with is what I came to call the stress reload, and one of the first things I incorporated in the stress fire system. Basically, last shot's been fired, and we're back up like that. What's happening in slower motion than that, because at my age I only have slower motion. The cylinder's open in the conventional fashion. The gun rolls up, and what I do is I roll the hammer spur right into the web of the hand and the thumb up here. That helps hold the cylinder out of the frame and guarantees a clean
Here it comes.
ejection.
Oh, here it comes. Oh.
Now we bring the muzzle up, and with one hard hit, we've got complete full ejection. The web of the hand is literally guided by the barrel. We found with the coming over with a dominant hand under stress, particularly if someone was trying to duck behind cover and moving as they reloaded, they might miss. If you miss over here, you're hitting the radial nerve, where you'd hit a guy to make him drop his gun. If you come in at an angle, do it enough times, the ejector rod's going to start bending and your revolver will stop working. But the left hand, one sharp slap, guarantees a full stroke, guarantees it's straight guided.
Masad Ayub, who is a recognized expert, he doesn't advocate hitting the ejector rod.
And with one hard hit, we've got complete full ejection.
And I certainly don't advocate hitting the ejector rod, because if you've been shooting and one of those cases splits open, which I've had happen, and you go kakoosh to whack your ejector rod like that, like an asshole, maybe you end up with a broken gun because you hit the ejector rod like an a-hole and bent something.
If you come in at an angle, do it enough times, the ejector rod's going to start bending and your revolver will stop working. But the left hand, one sharp slap, guarantees a full stroke, guarantees it's straight guided.
Masad Ayub, he doesn't advocate hitting the ejector rod.
And with one hard hit, and with one hard hit, and with one hard hit, we've got complete full ejection.
He doesn't advocate hitting the ejector rod.
You're an asshole.
You go kakoosh to whack your ejector rod like that, like an asshole.
No, you're the asshole. You're the big asshole. Yeah, fuck face, that's what you get for being a shit.